Welcome everybody, it's Mike Newton down here at Leartham Golf Academy again, and this video we're going to look at how you can improve your striking of the golf ball with a 3-wood when it's off the ground. So many golfers I find through coaching sessions, through fitting sessions, sometimes say to me I've struggled a little bit with a 3-wood because I just can't seem to get it flighted. Now it very much depends on your club head speed. So obviously if you're a particular golfer that may not have a lot of speed there, then generally speaking your angle of attack into the golf ball needs to be a lot more shallower. Okay, if you're a golfer possibly like myself who's got quite a bit of speed, then you can afford to hit a little bit more downwards on the ball and have a slightly more descending blow. So it really depends on what sort of speed you are in terms of a swing speed, and maybe also your path through the golf ball as well. So what we're going to do today in this video is I'm going to hit a few shots with, trying to get my angle of attack quite sort of level through impact. And then I'm going to try somewhere my angle of attack gets a little bit more down. And maybe just going to see the differences of what happens to the ball, the launch, the spin of the golf ball. And I'm going to use a Callaway Epic 3-wood for this. Standard 15-degree neutral head. So I'm not doing anything with the loft or the face angle here at all. Just the sort of standard loft option here. Okay, so we've got GC2 HMT. So we're going to look at some numbers after we've hit a batch of shots, working on those different angles of attack. Okay, so first of all we're going to hit some shots here, and I'm going to try and work on quite a level angle of attack, so something nearer to that 0 mark, which is that low point that the club makes through the arc of the swing through impact, and that's where I want to be trying to strike that golf ball. So what I'm going to do here is play the ball definitely more forward in the stance, so more towards the left foot here. So basically that ball's more opposite my left sort of pec, so I'm positioned a little bit more behind the golf ball, which will help me to sort of level it out. Now bear in mind the ball's sat on the ground, we're not sat on a tee here, so obviously we still want to get to the bottom of that golf ball. If we hit 2 up on it, then as you can appreciate we're going to get some very low in the face strikes, which is really going to affect the sort of launch and spin of the golf ball, and obviously the ball speed as well. So we're going to place that ball a little bit more forward. Okay, I'm going to feel like I've just got a tiny bit of tilt behind it with my spine here, and I'm going to try and get this angle of attack a little bit more sort of level. Okay, that's a super strike, very clean clip off that off the ground there. Definitely flew a bit higher than probably what I would like it to sort of see. So this time now we're going to move this ball position slightly further back in my stance here, or more away from my front leading foot. So I'm going to try and get the attack angle here maybe sort of 2, possibly 3 degrees down, which may sound quite steep for a 3-wood, but as I mentioned earlier, I've got quite a bit of speed, so if I can hit down on it, obviously I'm going to deliver less dynamic loft, but I've got the speed as a backup to keep the ball going through the air and basically keep it in the air. Now for golfers out there who haven't got that speed, and this is what I see a lot day to day through here, through the academy, through coaching, fitting, guys who haven't got the speed, then they hit 3, 4 down on it, the ball just doesn't get flighted. Okay, and then the options of like 4-woods and probably a 5-wood is doing a very similar job to a 3-wood, because they're presenting the loft impact like a 3-wood. Yeah, it's obviously a 5-wood in the hand, but that's purely because of their delivery. Okay, so I'm going to hit, as I say, I'm going to move this ball position a little bit more back in the stance. So it's not middle here, but I'm going to keep it forward, but not as much as the last time. And I'm obviously going to feel like I'm hitting a little bit more down this. And we'll have a look at ball flight and numbers after I've hit this shot. Okay, again, that felt a really good strike there. Definitely come out lower on that launch there. Be interested to look at spin number. Okay, but well, we'll go do that now. Let's look at that numbers of that particular shot we just hit. Right, okay, so we'll look at some numbers here. So it's done 3-wood and the striking down. So you see club head speed exactly the same there, but ball speed's very different there. So good 7-hour more ball speed when striking down on it. You see launch angle has come down quite a bit there, and that's a little bit because of dynamic loft delivered. So you see 21.1 dynamic at loft at impact when we're hitting level on it. When we hit down, you can see just short 16. So very different loft presented at impact because of my ball position change, which changes then my angle of attack. So spin changes massively here. So you can see spin comes down considerably. Ball flight comes down a good 13 yards different of that peak height, and that's a lot to do with the launch, a lot to do with the spin there, and then the carry distance 226 against 224. So again, we're just going to have a look at that strike pattern and angle of attack on that last one we hit. Okay, so there we go. There's the angle of attack, 2.9 down, and which produced that lower dynamic loft. Strike was a lot higher up in the face, a little bit towards the toe there, but a lot higher in the club face, which is where the spin changed considerably there, even though we're sort of hitting down on it. So you can see from those numbers, or from that difference of angle of attack here, how many other aspects change through impact. You know, dynamic loft changes, the spin changes, the launch changes, the peak height of the ball flight changes, and the distance changes, and also the strike pattern. So there's a lot of changes there just from a very simple ball position alteration through the setup. So something very basic in the setup makes a massive difference to numerous aspects through impact and what it can do on that golf ball. So as I say, really depends on what your speed is coming through. If you haven't got a lot of speed, then I would suggest let's get that ball more forward and try and hit more level to deliver more dynamic loft to help you to flight that golf ball. If you're a golfer that you have a 3-wood, you've got no issues on flighting it, then possibly just try maybe moving it back a bit and see what happens to that ball flight. You know, as you'd hit more down on it, you might just drop that down. And this might be something you might integrate into your game during a round of golf. So if it's a windier situation, wind's into, you might think, well, this shot, I've turned into the wind, I'm just going to move this ball back slightly and just drop this launch down just to get it fighting through that wind a little bit more. Okay, again, another interesting video there, just looking at some numbers, just testing these differences of simple little things can change ball position, can change ball data massively. Okay, thanks very much for watching, guys. Do appreciate watching the videos. Do hit that subscribe button up there if you can. Hit that those social links down there. Follow my social media platforms. Hit the thumbs up, share the video around, and hopefully I'll catch up with you all very soon.